You need to lean ahead before you get there. It's the reason I'm at this airline. I keep getting these messages from hiring people.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey pilots, welcome back to Ready for Pushback. It's Nick Fialka. It's another solo show. I am glad you're here today. I hope you've got some time to go in the air. I hope maybe you're on a commute to work, or you are driving to the airport to go bang out some hours in your Cessna or your Diamond or whatever you've got. I am interested in talking about a thing that happens in the interview process, and that's logbooks. I've had a couple shows about logbooks, but I recently got a text message from a director of hiring at a major airline. And he said that I should bring back up to you, the listener, that logbooks are vitally important. And if you want a job at a major airline, your logbook has to be tight, and your logbook has to be in order, and your logbook has to be in hand. And I want to specifically drill down on the in hand part. There have been many people that have come across without the required logbook in hand. And maybe you are a person that is military and something happened, things got damaged or whatever. You have to come up with a solution that shows those times, or they have to have your logbook, a log of your hours before they can give you a job, because there's a requirement from the FAA that you show these hours. A logbook is a dumb way. It's all you. It's all just like your honesty in a book of everything written down. It seems obscure and weird and antiquated, and it is, but that's what it is. So you've got this requirement that you have to show how much flying you have done throughout your career, and you have to tick away to get that many hours before the FAA will allow you to fly in the 121 world. And you have to be able to hold an ATP. If you are military and you lost your logbook for one reason or another, a commander's memo or something like that is not good enough. And you need to dive deep to be able to extract as much flight time as you can come up with. And you need to find ways within your community to pull that information. And there are different ways to do it, and it can be very, very difficult, but it's important. If you lose your logbook and if it's stolen, or there is a fire or something like that, you need to bring some kind of police record as well. You need to lean ahead before you get there and talk to the company that you're interviewing with and find out what is sufficient. Don't just show up with it in hand and say, hey, I listened to Ready for Pushback. This is what I'm doing. I do want you to be focused and make sure that the thing you are doing and trying to prove that you are an airline pilot, or you are capable of being an airline pilot because you have enough hours, make sure that's acceptable to them. Each company has their own way of doing that. And I want you to really understand that. A lot of, like, hey, yes, things have gone digital. Yes, you've got all the digital logbooks filled out and stuff like that, but they want a hard copy. So print that stuff out. Click the buttons, print it out, have it on hand with you. Have multiple copies, because you never know when something's going to go wrong. That happened on my interview when I was at my airline. I had an issue with one of my logbooks, which I just totally blew my mind. But I had a backup paper copy of every single hour that was added up at the bottom of every single page, and it was signed on every single page. Dozens and dozens of pages signed. And I had that in my bag just in case. And I had it bound, and I had a little plastic cover on it. And it's the thing that saved my bacon. It's the reason I'm at this airline. And I'm thankful that I did. So always have a backup to the backup. All your paperwork that you bring multiple copies, have 2 different folders, and have a backup to the backup. Because if that bites you, you only have one shot. Oh, can you imagine like the gut-wrenching feeling of walking out of there because you didn't have a backup? I want you to do that. I want you to focus on that. And I want you to make sure that when you are coming to an interview, when you are going to an interview, I highly recommend that you review every page of your logbook. Add everything up, dot every I, cross every T, make sure you know every 0.1 of an hour and where it is. Because you need to be able to be conversational about that, especially if they find an error. And what's funny is this isn't my first rodeo with logbooks and conversations about logbooks, but I keep getting these messages from hiring people that they want you to show up better prepared. And so I want you to be better prepared because I want you to have this job because it's a great job and you deserve all of it. This environment this year is much more competitive than last year, and it's only going to get more competitive. So the people that are polished, the people that look good, they are the ones that are going to get the jobs ahead of those that are disheveled and those that are missing things. So don't be that guy. Be ready. Be ready for pushback, right? Tell them you listen to my show and they'll know that you are ready and they'll expect you to be ready. So keep crushing. You guys are the best and we'll see you on the next episode.
Hey, before you jump out of here and go on to the next podcast, can I ask a big favor? Would you mind going over to your app that you're listening to this podcast on and give me a review? Give me a 5-star review if you love it. Give me a 1-star review if it totally sucks. Put a comment in there, something that is helpful. It helps me. It helps get the word out there. It helps people find the podcast, and that's super cool. If you don't do that, maybe you could just share the podcast with a friend. Tell a buddy who's trying to figure it out, trying to sort out this pilot dream of theirs and get a little bit further. That is super awesome as well. Last, if you don't do either of those 2 things, how about this? Find a way today to make yourself 1% better. Do that thing that you've been putting off. Put your foot forward, make movement, get yourself going, get that inertia that you need to succeed in this industry. So that's your choice. Leave a review, tell a friend, or make yourself better. Either way, it's all a good choice. And I'm super stoked you're listening, and I will see you on the next episode. The statements made on this show are my own opinions and do not reflect, nor are they under any direction from my employer.